Let's get it. Hobby with a Cage, episode 263, brought to you by Card Ladder and Arena Club. Wearing my Yankee hat this morning, and that's because the Yankees are in first place. Baseball season's over. Everybody's tied for first again. So, you got to take that kind of attitude, and, congratulations to the Dodgers. Congratulations to Toronto. I posted a little story, I was rooting for the Dodgers. I will tell you that right now. I was rooting for the Dodgers. I like Bo Bichette. I mean, he couldn't really lose in this World Series because, as Jeff Wilson famously said, he plays for the Dodgers and also really plays for Toronto. So, he was going to win either way, Bo Bichette. I like Vladdy. I mean, I loved watching his dad. So, that's a fun experience for an old man like myself. Watching, the kid play. But man, I mean, I take stuff personally. He'll learn a lesson. I mean, Aaron Judge made a mistake too, playing against Boston, and he used the boom box outside of the Red Sox, dressing room, whole New York, and it came back to bite him. Karma, there's a lot of karma in baseball. The Yankees lose for Vladdy. Now he's on the other end of losing, and it's not by anything he did. I mean, he almost carried the team himself. Anyway, enough about baseball. We're in basketball season now, football season, and all kinds of fun stuff. If you're anything like me, the last couple of days have been tough. It was really windy and cold in the Northeast here in New York. I buy, the full-size candy bars for the kids to come trick-or-treating, and it was so cold and windy on Halloween that I have like 50 full-size candy bars. I have about 25 full-size candy bars because I spent the weekend watching sports, including football yesterday, and just nonstop eating Snickers, frozen Milky Ways. I don't even like a Three Musketeer. I mean, that bar is just garbage, but if you have it, you're going to eat it. So I'm going to have to spend the next couple of weeks recovering from that. I mean, I need a shower and a shave, it looks like, first of all. But, man, tough wake up this morning. It's nice to have the day off tomorrow. Hopefully everybody goes out there and votes. And, yeah, I mean, just fun stuff. So my vote, Hobby Royalty's newest member. Now stay with me here, guys. I've seen a lot of posts this morning about Ohtani. And I do not have a lot of Ohtani cards. I did have a lot. I sold a lot too early. I have some, I think I have 2, maybe 3 total Ohtani cards. You guys know I have a big one from Dynasty. And, so obviously my bias will creep in here because, when you have an investment in somebody, when you have a card, when you have a collectible, you tend to be biased and talk them up. But I'm going to try to do as best I can here, straight line. I've seen a lot of, people posting this morning, like, sell your Ohtani cards. They're never going to be more than they are right now. And I've even seen some dopes, who haven't been in the hobby that long, but, consider themselves to be brainiacs now, making comparisons between Mike Trout and Ohtani. And for a second, I understand that a cursory review, somebody who is a little brain would make that type of analysis because Trout was a hobby darling and Ohtani is a hobby darling, right? And I get it. And Trout won 3 MVPs. And okay, so I'm just going to throw some stuff out there really, really quick about Ohtani and why anybody who's trying to tell you today, oh man, he's hobby fool's gold. I'm not saying his prices continue to go up. I'm not saying he's a great investment. I'm talking any of that right now. I'm talking about when I have a card of somebody, I like to buy goats, right? I'm a Brady buyer, I'm a Messi buyer. For basketball, I got some Jordan cards. I try to be a GOAT buyer, and I don't really like buying, active players because anything can happen. You spend $500,000 on a Jaden Daniels card and he doesn't have that greatest season and he gets hurt. And, you can see a lot of that, right? So I try not to buy cards of people who are, active, but there are active players who have put floors in. And what I mean by that, right, is Mahomes is a good example. I'm not buying Mahomes. I don't own any Mahomes. I'm a Raider fan. I hate Mahomes. I don't like the Chiefs. I just don't like him to begin with. But he's won. He's won a lot. He's won Super Bowls. He's won Super Bowl MVPs, right? He has a floor. Like, even if he doesn't do anything else, he's a Hall of Fame quarterback. He's, a top 5 quarterback of all time. I'm not going to get into an argument about Mahomes. Ohtani has put a floor in. He has done things that no one has ever done. And we'll say that again, right? He's done things that baseball, which has been around since the 1800s, he's done things that no one has done. And I'm not just talking about the 50-50 season. Now, everything he does adds to this resume, right? Even the playoffs, even if he hadn't won, that marathon 18-inning game, the dude reached base 9 times. They intentionally walked him. He walked 5 times. He had home runs and doubles. The National League Championship game where he pitched and shut the other team out and had 3 home runs. Like, these are all things that add to the Ohtani lore, the Ohtani legend. But if you throw something out there, I mean, a lot of people who watch this who don't do baseball stuff are basketball guys. You think about Jordan as sort of the GOAT because he won his championships. And basketball championships are a big deal. But when you talk to somebody about, what makes him the best, it's not that he's won the most championships, right? You have to layer in something else because there's that Celtics team, with Cousy and Bill Russell, and no one's calling them the greatest of all time, but they had the most championships, right? And that's sort of like, I'll do the comparison over, right? That's like the Yankees, all right? So I like to look at rings and MVPs, right? Because how else are you going to judge a player, right? How else are you going to judge, the value of a player when you're putting them up in the Mount Rushmore and the, hobby royalty / baseball royalty, sport royalty. And, I make that comparison. The Yankees. So we're talking about MVPs and rings. So the most MVPs ever by any baseball player, Barry Bonds, 7 MVPs, which is just insane to think about. And, Bonds was a great player, and he has, sort of like a little tarnish to his resume because of the whole, performance-enhancing drug kind of thing. But don't take anything away from it. 7. No one else has won more than 3 in the history of the game, right? So he has 7. He had more than twice what anybody else had. And the list of 3 we're going to go through, and there's a reason for it. Because unless something crazy happens, which, I mean, Ohtani's winning the MVP this year, right? He's winning this MVP. It'll be announced in a couple of weeks. He had another amazing 50-plus home run season, and, he's going to win the MVP this year. I think sportsbooks stopped taking bets on it and wouldn't allow you to bet on anybody else anyway, because he was just basically, running away with it. When he wins this year, he's going to have 4 MVPs. So it's just going to be Bonds and him. He'll be second to Bonds in MVPs already at 30, 31 years old. So already that's an amazing thing. But here to layer in on top of that is Bonds won no rings. He won no championships. And now Ohtani has 2. So you have 4 MVPs with 2 championships. Never been done by anyone. Never been done. The 50-50 has never been done. The pitching and hitting has never been done. And obviously, listen, the MVP, World Series, the MVP stuff, you got to take like Babe Ruth out of the equation. I'm sure he would have won a bunch. I'm sure Lou Gehrig would have won a bunch. They just didn't have the awards. So obviously you have to have a special place for those guys as well with the numbers that they did. But since the MVP award has been given out, and we're talking about almost 100 years, right? The Yankees are sort of like that Celtics team. You have DiMaggio, Mantle, and Yogi, right? All of them won 3 MVPs, right? Mantle, 7 rings. DiMaggio, 9 rings. Yogi, 10 rings. Take nothing away from those guys, right? And the championships, they're all kind of on the same team from the 40s into the 50s. They overlapped a little bit and won some. DiMaggio was there and won his in the 40s. And, Mantle came after, and Yogi kind of spanned the 2. Take nothing away from those guys, right? But think about the names we're talking about, right? Joe DiMaggio, one of the greatest hitters of all time. Mickey Mantle, one of the greatest center fielder, power hitter, you name it, of all time. Yogi Berra, probably the best catcher of all time. I mean, Yankee greats. Ohtani's now going to have 1 more MVP than them. Now, the rings, he's probably not getting to 9, 10, or even 7 that Mantle has. But I put those Yankees, and I'm a Yankee fan, I put those Yankees sort of in the Celtics category, right? Like you could argue Bill Russell was great, but those rings come because it's a great team, because there were less teams then. And as much as I love being a Yankee fan and having, 20-something World Series, a lot of those were when there were less teams and a lot easier to get to the World Series, and the Yankees were a super team, sort of like, the Dodgers now. So I'm not taking anything away from them, but even with all that craziness there, while he doesn't have the team hardware yet, right? He has more MVPs than those guys, and you're going to be like, oh, he's not going to go through the whole list. It's a very easy list, because you know what comes after it is Stan Musial has 3 MVPs and 3 rings. 3 rings, big, but still not as many MVPs as Ohtani's going to have his 4th one now. Pujols, 700 home runs. The guy was a god. He was like the number 1 fantasy pick for a decade, and amazing, and starting to get a lot more hobby love now because people realize just how great he was. 3 MVPs, 2 rings. So Ohtani is now already past that. As great as Pujols is, I mean, I don't know if Ohtani's going to hit 700 home runs. He didn't come into the league, at the same age. He's probably not going to have as many at-bats, as many years here as Pujols did, but already more. Jimmy Fox, also 3 MVPs and 2 rings. Ohtani's already past that. A-Rod, 3 MVPs, 1 ring with the PEDs. Mike Schmidt, Phillies legend, perhaps the best third baseman of all time. 3 MVPs, 1 ring. Roy Campanella gives Yogi a run at best catcher ever for the Dodgers. 3 MVPs, 1 ring in 55 with Jackie. And then Mike Trout, 3 MVPs, no rings. That's it. There's your 3 MVPs. Aaron Judge most likely wins the MVP this year. I'm sorry, Cal Raleigh fans, but I think Aaron Judge will join that, and he'll be sitting there on the bottom of the list with Trout with 3 MVPs and no rings. 4 MVPs and 2 rings. Right? We just went through the whole list of people who have 3 MVPs in the history of baseball. I kind of cheated a little and said it goes back to the 1800s. The MVP award doesn't. But think about that for a second. The next time somebody tries to tell you Ohtani is just the flavor of the month in the hobby, he's just like Luka. What? Luka hasn't really put a floor in. He's got some all NBA teams, but no MVPs, no championships. None. That's a silly comparison. Don't let people say Ohtani is the Jaden Daniels and show you the $500,000 Roth card, Jaden Daniels. And I wish I would have bought more, because I'm not going to say he's the greatest of all time, but he's starting to get in a conversation with some people who are, right? I mean, if you're a fan of baseball, there are some names I left off that. I mean, Ted Williams, not on that list. You know what I mean? Never won a championship. Doesn't have the MVPs, and he started playing in the 30s. I mean, just there are amazing, amazing players that were the best players of a decade who are on that list. And what this guy is doing is amazing. And I haven't even peppered in yet the global brand that he's become. And that's, this is what I'm thinking about today. Because, I mean, Topps posted this. It really is a fun kind of thing. Like, hey, someone spent $500,000 on the Topps Transcendent Superfractor auto of his. And boy, they feel smart, because that auction Golden ended before the game ended. I think when it ended, they were losing 4-2. And then you won it and watched them come back. And boom, you added that extra championship in. I mean, there was a Bowman Chrome Orange out of 25 batting, which is like, look, you're not going to get his superfractor batting. The batting's better than pitching. Everybody loves batting. I'm just going to throw it out there. Pitching's cool, but the batting's better. I'd love to have either. But, you're not getting one of the Reds. The superfractor is probably an 8-figure card now. You've seen reports of the guy turning down $3-4 million. It doesn't surprise me. The red is a 7-figure card now. The red out of 5. The orange, so an orange batting sold in Golden, there are 10 10s. There are PSA 10s with 10 autos. There are, 9 5s and 10s that sold for 300-something thousand. A batting BGS 9, decent subgrades, BGS 9 with a really nice auto 10 grade Beckett, really nice auto, probably a 10 auto PSA. That card sold for like $228, $229 or something like that. That's a lot. Don't get me wrong. I'm saying it's a lot, but it sold before they won. I mean, is it a bargain? Is it lucky? I don't know. The way that people are posting now, it's like, all right, congratulations, your Ohtani cards are worth less. How? This isn't SGA, where he's just got one season. It's not, somebody it's not Jason Tatum. 4 MVPs. It's been done by one player ever before him. One. 2 rings. 4 and 2. Never been done. The one player who has more MVPs never won a championship. And his career is tainted by PEDs. I'm not saying Ohtani's a GOAT, but I'm also saying I'm not going to put up much of an argument if somebody starts calling him that. And there's my thoughts on this Monday morning after Halloween. I gotta tell you, man. I am. Little Hershey's bars. There's just candy everywhere. It's crazy. A little sugar high. I hope you enjoyed this one. Little research, baseball history in there. A little deep baseball. I got my ass handed to me by in fantasy this week. It was bad. I mean, it hurts having like all your running backs on a bye, but the team I played against, what a juggernaut, man. Christian McCaffrey. That guy's a beast, fantasy beast. I might have to buy some Christian McCaffrey cards. I bought a couple of them a couple of years ago and sold them all like an idiot. There you go. That's the way the cookie crumbles. Let me know what you guys think. Are you in on Ohtani? Out on Ohtani? Is his stuff too much money now? Has it run too far, too fast? That's a reasonable argument to take. I just think this is one of those guys that, when all is said and done, is going to go down as an all-timer. Even if he stopped right now. It's kind of crazy to think about. We're watching greatness. It's fun to be around, to be able to be a witness to that. And a fun little I got a code. I got to tell you guys about this. A little card ladder. Cage. If you haven't bought Card Ladder yet, if you haven't got a subscription, if you haven't signed up for Card Ladder yet, sign up. Put Cage in as a promo code. You get a little discount. And I'm going to tell you what I'm going to do, because I have no idea how many of these. I know people have signed up using the code already because I get emails about it. But if you sign up, let me know. Send me a screenshot that you signed up and used my code, right? I'm going to get confirmation on the back end anyway, so I'll know. At the end of the year, I'm going to put everybody who signs up using my code in a hat. And whatever money I get for it, I'm giving away to one of you guys. There you go. So if there's like 5 people who sign up, you got a 20% chance of winning all of the money that I get for that subscription. Because, I'm not doing this. This sponsorship is an easy sponsorship. I love these guys. I'm not doing it for, referral money. Maybe if you sign up using the code, not only will it be free, maybe your whole subscription will be free. I don't even know how much I get for you signing up. It's probably not that much. But whatever it is, I'm giving it away. Code is Cage. Sign up for Card Ladder. Just put in Cage as a promo code. I think you get like 25% off, maybe something like that. Free money. And that's another episode, The Hobby with Cage. 263 of these. Hope you guys enjoyed it. If you didn't, leave a comment. I like those too. I'll respond to you. Tell me why you didn't like it, and then I'll tell you to stop listening. Just kidding. Don't stop listening. Can't afford to lose any of you guys. That's another episode brought to you guys by Card Ladder and Arena Club. Talk to you guys soon. Take care, everybody.